How you doing? Welcome to my channel.
Turn yourself in. Turn yourself in. Don't make them come get you. Turn yourself in and let it go.
Information on how exactly 41-year-old Markeith Loyd was taken into custody. Mike?
Good evening, everyone. Listen, we've been working the phones, obviously, as soon as this broke, and First Lady's tremendous job on what you're doing there, handling this breaking story, News 6 on top of it. And I can report News 6 has confirmed that this arrest played near Metro West on a home on Lescott Lane.
Good afternoon. My name is Sal Gore Monda. Norm and I used to work together on motors, and we had become good friends. We're here today to honor Norm Lewis. Everyone who knows Big Norm, as he was affectionately called, can remember his booming laughter and infectious smile. If you met Norm, even for the first time, and even for just a few minutes, you would remember him. He tended to stick out in a crowd and leave a lasting impression on people. He brought his positive and humorous disposition everywhere he went. That's what he was known for. He was and is unforgettable. You couldn't help but recognize his voice on the radio when he would call out a 1050, because he would say it like he's having the best day of his life out there. On the road, doing what he loved best, which was chasing down speeders on his sheriff's office motorcycle. He could have let them come to him and just step out with a radar gun, but no, he'd chase them down on the bike. Norm loved his job. He truly loved it. He would ride that motor rain or shine. It didn't matter if it was 40 degrees and raining or 101 degrees in Florida heat. Norm was going to be on his motorcycle. Norm was a big man at 6'5", around 300 pounds, but he was 300 pounds of heart. Ask anyone that knew him. That's what made him special. He wasn't just known for his size. But his ability to make people feel comfortable around him.
This is the scene here at 5 o'clock as rain has begun to fall here on us in Orlando. You can see Sergeant Clayton's patrol unit there. There's also a wreath there. Then high above that, you can see the United States flag flying at half-staff now as Orlando, the community, and the victims' families here have to try to cope with this loss. You could say Sergeant Debra Clayton and her sister Nikki never really grew up.
We were on phones like teenagers.
Here they are on Christmas Day celebrating together. It was her sister's boisterous way that kept the two young at heart.
Oh, big, bright, beautiful personality that she carried. You know, the energy, full of love.
Monday morning, police say Nikki's sister approached 41-year-old Markeith Loyd in this Wal-Mart parking lot. Loyd wanted for allegedly murdering his pregnant girlfriend.
Her job was to serve and protect.
Grateful for that. So we did want to give you some details about the investigation and the arrest. So approximately 7 p.m. tonight, members from the Orlando Police Department, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and the U.S. Marshal's Office located Markeith Loyd at 1156 Lescott Lane in Carver Shores. The house was surrounded. A SWAT call-out was initiated. Before SWAT team arrived, Markeith did try to escape out the back sliding glass doors. He was confronted by Orlando police officers. He ran back inside the house and then subsequently came out the front door. When Markeith Loyd came out the front door, he was wearing body armor and he had 2 handguns in his possession. One of those handguns carries a 100-round drum, so capacity for carrying 100 rounds. So when he came out the front door, he threw those 2 handguns to the ground. He was taken into custody. He did resist arrest, and he does have some facial injuries. And Lieutenant Deborah Clayton's handcuffs were placed on him, and he was transported to Orlando Police Headquarters, and he's being treated by the fire department right now, and we're waiting to see if he needs to go to the hospital. The injuries look minor to me. One of the first phone calls I made was to Debra Clayton's husband, Seth Clayton. I told him about the arrest, and he was relieved and happy, but also upset to know that he was arrested right around the corner from Deborah's mother's house. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the sheriff to talk about their investigation as well.
Let me just start by saying that I do congratulate all of the law enforcement personnel who were involved in the effort to bring this individual into custody. It's somewhat bittersweet for us, obviously, especially since we just come off of the heels of yesterday and burying one of my own that was involved in the massive manhunt. And this community certainly has been emotionally impacted by the set of events during the last week. And so I believe that our entire community is going to breathe a sigh of relief at this point, because they will sleep better knowing tonight that I'm going to describe this individual as this maniac, if you will, is off the streets of our community. The Orange County Sheriff's Office has and will serve an arrest warrant tonight. Markeith D. Loyd will be charged with multiple offenses stemming from the initial incident that brought us here today. Of course, you all remember that that incident occurred on December the 13th, in which he was responsible for the death of former girlfriend and her unborn child. As a result of that, he will be charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with a firearm. He also shot her brother on that night, Ronald Stewart, who was gravely injured as a result of the firearm, the use of a firearm. He will also be charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm. He pointed the weapon at Sade Dixon's younger brother, Dominique Daniels, and her mother, Stephanie Dixon Daniels, as well. And so, again, we will be charging him with 2 counts of first-degree homicide and 1 count of attempted homicide, first-degree homicide, and 2 counts of aggravated assault. And so, to the entire Dixon family, the Stewart family, we have been in communication with them as well over time. That family has certainly been impacted by the set of events that have occurred here in this county, as well as all of the people here. In fact, I believe that even all of America has been watching these events unfold because of the extraordinary circumstances here in which a law enforcement officer was killed and another died in the process of bringing this individual into custody. So those are our charges at this time. Chief.
And just some follow-up. Again, I want to thank all the officers.
He was defiant to the bitter end. He didn't walk outdoors and put his hands up and say, "Come get me." He didn't turn himself in. Nobody collected any money. The cops just did the detective work and got him in an abandoned house, right? So, you know, we'll see. I mean, you know, are we going to call Jeremy Demings and Uncle Tom like we did the police chief in Milwaukee and the police chief in Dallas, who was offering the African-American community jobs if they want to see a difference? I'm sure people forgot about that. Well, we'll just see, you know. Everybody, it's just still. And the thing that amazes me is that the guy, but I was telling you all this, that the whole snitches get stitches things. Well, the guy was caught like 2 seconds from the house of Master Sgt. Loyd's husband. That's the one thing that he said bothered him. He was glad that they caught him, but it bothered him. He was so close to where they live. But yes, and they put her handcuffs on him. That's how it's done. So, of course, and they asked, you heard him, they asked him, did you do it? And all he can, you know, forget about them. Forget about what the drama, the schools being shut down. Forget about all that. All he can say is they beat me up. Yeah, they beat you up. And I think if they could have, you know, it could have been a whole lot worse. Obviously they didn't want to kill him. And I thought that he would do a suicide by cop thing. But they did it in such a way that they didn't want shots fired. But it looked like to me, there was as many blacks and whites as Hispanics carrying him in there as there was anything. But we'll see if people turn this into a race thing, even though everybody was black. All the victims were black. The perps were black. The police in charge were black. The police who were shot, everybody's black. So we'll see if they turn it into something. But there we go.
That arrest happened at a home. Again, there is that map, and you'll notice it is really just a few blocks away from Carver Middle School. So as we were talking about last week when all this first happened, all those schools being on lockdown, not knowing exactly where Markeith Loyd was. Again, Mike Holfeld confirming that his sources saying this happened on Lescott Lane and the Metro West area near Kirkman and Old Winter Garden Road. At this point, Holfeld telling us he's not sure if it was based on a tip or several tips.
We must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred.